Welcome to this video lesson on elements, compounds and mixtures. In order to understand the contents of this video, you should be familiar with the following concepts. You should know that the periodic table contains elements which are represented by a chemical symbol. You should also know that the elements are arranged in the periodic table according to the size of the atom and their similar properties. By the end of this video, you should be able to firstly identify whether a substance is an element, a compound or a mixture, and secondly be able to talk about some techniques used to separate mixtures. When atoms join together, they make molecules. Here are two atoms of different types represented by a blue sphere and a red sphere. When they come together, they form a molecule. A molecule is two or more atoms chemically joined or bonded together. A molecule can be made of just two atoms, or it can have quite a few atoms, or it can have many thousands of atoms, such as this molecule of a protein. A molecule is two or more atoms chemically joined or bonded together. The important part is that each atom in the molecule is bonded to at least one other atom. If all the atoms are the same type, that substance is an element. If the atoms are different types, then that molecule is a compound. Let's have a look at those two definitions in more detail. Firstly, elements. If the atoms in a substance are all the same type, then the substance is an element. The element could contain individual atoms, like this, or it could contain molecules containing only one type of atom, like this. The important thing is that an element has only one kind of atom in its structure. In contrast to an element, a compound must contain more than one type of atom in its structure. Each atom must be bonded to at least one other atom. So, for example, on the left, a molecule containing two different atoms. In the middle, a molecule containing four different types of atoms. And on the right, molecules containing two different types of atoms. In this case, the molecules are much bigger. Each of these examples is a compound. More than one type of atom, and each atom is bonded to at least one other atom. However, sometimes atoms can be present in the same substance without being chemically joined to each other. This would be described as a mixture. A mixture contains more than one type of atom, but either not all the atoms are bonded to another atom, or not all the molecules in the substance are the same. For example, this picture shows a mixture of elements. There are two different types of atoms, blue and red. But the blue atoms and the red atoms are not bonded to each other. In this example, we have a mixture of compounds. We have the molecules containing black and red atoms, which are bonded to each other, and molecules containing blue and red atoms, which are bonded to each other, but these different molecules are distinct. Again, this is a mixture. We can also have a mixture of compounds and atoms. Let's summarise that information. An element consists of only one type of atom. This can be in the form of individual atoms, or it can be as molecules made of only one type of atom. A compound contains more than one type of atom. Therefore, a compound cannot contain individual atoms. A compound contains molecules containing more than one type of atom. A mixture can either contain atoms, or it can contain molecules, or it can contain both. Let's look at some examples. Water contains molecules which have one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. Pure water contains nothing else. Water is a compound. Aluminium foil only contains aluminium atoms. It is an element. Air contains nitrogen molecules, oxygen molecules, and small amounts of carbon dioxide, which is also a molecule, and argon, which exists as individual atoms. Therefore, air is a mixture of elemental atoms and compound molecules. Now it's your turn. Have a look at the following pictures which represent substances. Can you decide whether they are elements, compounds, or mixtures? What is this? Is it a compound, an element, or a mixture? This substance is an element. It only contains molecules which only have one type of atom in it. Therefore, it is an element. How about this? This substance is a compound. This compound contains molecules, and each molecule contains atoms of two different types. This substance is a mixture. It is a mixture of individual atoms, but the atoms are of different types. This substance is an element. There is only one type of atom present. This substance is a mixture. There are two different types of molecule present. This substance is a compound. There are two different types of atom present, but they are all bonded to each other. This substance is a mixture, containing molecules and individual atoms. How would we separate mixtures and compounds into their individual components? In general, mixtures are easier to separate into their components, that is, atoms or molecules, than compounds are to separate into individual atoms. If we stir sand into water, we get a mixture. We can separate sand and water using filtration. The sand remains in the filter paper, whereas the water drips through and is collected in the beaker. Salt water is also a mixture. We can evaporate the water using heat, leaving behind white crystals of salt. A mixture of iron filings and sulphur powder can be separated using a magnet. To watch the original video of this, please click on the link. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll leave you with some key concepts for you to check your understanding.